We set up for 94, but they kept coming. Paul Schultz led the charge to get additional chairs, but when it was all said and done, roughly 120 local history lovers came and turned the Civic Center gathering into a standing room only crowd. The event, held this past November 6th, was our fourth Sparta Notables ceremony, this year celebrating 4 deceased notables, Sharkey Badgerow, Norma Chapman, Warren Schut, and Denny Wolters, and 4 living notables, Tom Cheslek, Ahmed Farid, Gay Ebers Franckowiak, and Delton Parks. 2 themes kept coming up during the presentations: friendships and family as relates to Sparta, and farm and farmers and work. I should have guessed that would be typical in a small rural farming community, but those 2 themes seem to help define the entire ceremony: the importance of hard work contributing to our notables' foundations, and the universal impact that friends play in our lives.
He hauled piece by piece barn lumber and beams from Sparta and constructed an A-frame cottage with the help of his friends, family, and the Dirty Dingus Gang. In 1971, Sparta celebrated its quasquicentennial. Business owner Gary DeLange started a rough and rowdy group called the Dirty Dingus Gang, comprised of many business owners. Their attire was anything but business, more like something from the Old West in 1846. They rolled into town to rob the People's State Bank building. The police were called, gunshots were exchanged, and my dad got shot. I was 9 years old. That was ketchup. To children, however, he offered candy. He really enjoyed talking to children about Sparta's history during the historical tours.
She loved people and she loved making that connection, and so she really made a point of including you and remembering people who needed her, not just for the sad, hard things, but also for the joyous ones. So that was one of her trademarks. I'm telling everybody that she is the most beautiful baby in the world, and he said, because my dad was very literal and very honest, but he said, when I get home and see her, if she's not the most beautiful baby, I will have to adjust. So tell people the truth about my daughter. So.
An unofficial networking event that took place before some of the local business openers opened at 9. It was here I would witness conversations, concerns, hot gossip, conducted so casually, where problems would be laid out and solutions offered. It was here I would watch my dad gain credibility and confidence in trying to become helpful or give an opinion as the new young guy at the table, advising him to have a better, more controlled budget for donations and advertising. That conversation didn't make it very far. I believe I was told to mind my own business as he walked away. In hindsight, I've come to understand that for him, that kind of outreach was never about budgets or advertising, but rather investing in the people around him.
Ahmed's Sparta ties run very deep. His grandfather was Jim Gardner, longtime principal at Sparta High School. His grandmother, Rui, a longtime substitute in the Sparta school system. And his mother and stepfather are both graduates of Sparta as well.
I want to thank my good friend Sean for doing exactly that here today. Sean's a lifelong friend. I talk to him all the time, probably more than either one of our wives really care for.
I've always been proud of being from Sparta, Michigan, and a Midwest farmer's daughter. Growing up in Sparta gave me a huge sense of community, a strong moral foundation of which I formed my beliefs and built my life around. You're from the Midwest, she'll hire you. And better yet, if you're from the farm, you're in.
Interesting enough, Jim Gardner became a great mentor to me. He followed me through not only high school, followed me to college and beyond, kept in touch. Think about that. How many would do that today? Supporting me all the way. I got a push from this town in many ways. I had an opportunity my last 2 years of high school to work for Ken Klein. That required cows every morning and every night before I went to school and after school. We milked 75 cows in those days, which was a big herd. Plus we had the horses, plus the rodeo. All of that was involved in more work. but it was all enjoyable.
Your dad worked for Spartan Distributors for many years and was a good friend of my dad. And because our times crossed there at Spartan Distributors, I got to know your dad really well. And you have his wonderful sense of humor, and what a great guy. So anyway, it's fun to have that family connection. Was needing to leave school early to help on the farm. That was happening in many families, and with him as well. So he was self-taught. He always valued the importance of formal education, in part because he didn't have it. And so he made sure that each of his children and grandchildren went to college. I mean, that was just a real priority for him. Have coffee with the guys downtown, and then
he just loved athletics, and he liked to be around people that also liked athletics. I see my friend Walter Reister out here, and I didn't know Walter in school. He was a whole lot older than me.
His license plate had one word on it: Sparta. I think that pretty well defines Denny, that he really liked Sparta. Thank you.
To date, we have celebrated 42 individuals who have received the Notables honor. Come back in 2 years on the first Saturday in November to enjoy the induction of our 2023 class of Sparta Notables. And be thinking of who you think might be a worthy member of that class. We are open to suggestions.